Welcome to the Wednesday night pick-me-up, and before we jump into tonight's subject, I want to let you know that following this teaching, we're going to have a long interview, live streamed. Stick around for that. I think you'll enjoy it. Identity, specifically sexual and racial identity. It's constant. The dialogue never ends. It's every athlete, every celebrity, every politician, every cultural leader, and it's constant. It's as if it's the only thing that matters. Racial and sexual identity. Good night. If I hear any more, I'm just going to puke. But there's got to be something more, something bigger, something grander at play. This discussion that surrounds sexual and racial identity points us to something that's so true about human nature, and that's that we're on a search. We're searching for meaning and significance and worth and our place and value. It's all connected. That identity discussion, that's exactly what's driving it. Maybe we don't always see it clearly, but that search is what's driving that identity dialogue. It just is. So, in Mark chapter 1, verse 11, before Jesus enters into any public ministry, there's this scene with him being baptized. And in chapter 1, verse 11, the heavens are ripped open and God speaks from heaven over Jesus in the waters of baptism and says this is my Son, whom I love, in him I'm well pleased. Three things. And those three things are so much more tied to identity than anything else I can think of. Look closely. Look closely at what's said here. This is my Son. That's a direct statement of identity. What if you woke up every day with an abiding knowledge that you are a child of God, made in his image? I promise you it would change things. It would satisfy that search. It would give us answers. You know, with all the American problems that we have, cultural problems that we have, racial problems that we have, sexual issues that we face, waking up every day, going out into the public sphere and facing all of this stuff down, I love the words of comedian Pete Holmes that says, zoom out. There's something going on bigger than just the problems that you're going to face today in your little part of the world. Zoom out. We're all of us, all of humanity is connected on this planet, and we're flying through space on this little rock. And the God of heaven and earth has spoken in and told you and me that we're made in his image. Start with that. Your identity is in him. It's the identity answer. Second statement, in whom I love. I love, that's a statement of value. What if you woke up every day feeling the value that is instilled in his sons, in his creatures, in his creation, with the idea that he doesn't just make you, he loves you? Or what about that last statement, in whom I'm well pleased? We're not just in his image, our identity. We're not just valued by him because he's made us and he's given us worth, but we're also pleased. He's pleased in us, meaning that with all the searching, all the effort you're going to put in, with all the things that drive you towards the need for approval and affirmation from others, the start is, and what if you started your day with, God approves of you. He's affirming you, just you, made in his image. Boy, that changes everything. This statement comes at the very beginning of the book of Mark, telling the story of Jesus, and isn't that an interesting issue in and of itself? That Jesus' life, specifically his public life, is driven forward by the fact that his identity's in God, his values in God, and his affirmation comes from God. You ever want to know how Jesus was able to juggle this life, face down this life? You ever want to know how Jesus was able to do life and not be overwhelmed by loneliness, not be driven by his appetites, not face down temptations, feel fulfilled and feel at peace and sacrifice for something bigger than just the moment and time that he was in. You want to know how Jesus did all that? Well, his identity was in the Father. He had a sense of great value that came from God, and he was affirmed by God. So with all the searching that we're doing today, trying to figure out the meaning of life, our place in the world, a sense of value, all that stuff, our identity, start with the only thing that really matters. That all these other identities pale into comparison to the idea that we're made in his image. Start your day with that tomorrow. And let's see if it isn't a game changer for you. All right. That's a pick-me-up for today. I'll see you Sunday. Love you. Mean it.